Talmor, Shishin Marachi. Talmor is my home. My family have worked the land for generations. My gran says the island does not belong to us, but we belong to the island. And we must be ready, for a great evil is coming. And death follows with it.
Listen and subscribe to the latest season of Undertow, The Harrowing, a Storyglass production presented by Realm, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Contained herein are the heresies of Radolf Burntwine, erstwhile monk turned traveling medical investigator. Join me as I uncover the blasphemous truth of a plague-ridden world, that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The Heresies of Radolf Burntwine, coming January 2nd, wherever podcasts are available.
Hey, everybody. Oh, my God. You thought
Nope.
no more podcast.
Incorrect. Ha! Here forever. Forever
You've been had.
pod. Forever pod.
Forever pod.
Hey, we're gonna make this intro brief. We are rolling into a curtain call episode where I think it's quite fun, actually. We talk about the future.
Kristin was editing this episode and she texted me and said it's her favorite episode of Buffering the Vampire Slayer ever.
It just sounds like two girls who have known each other for 15 years, who have been podcasting for 6, just having a blast. It's a good listen, I think. And you know me, I don't even like podcasts.
I know.
But a couple of quick things before we roll into this very special curtain call episode. We have CD box sets, the complete collection of songs from Buffering the Vampire Slayer in a gorgeous box designed by the folks at Delicious Design League in Chicago. That box is for sale right now, and it is for pre-order. This is really important. The pre-order is going to be up in our store, our U.S. store, through October 17th. That is this coming Monday. We may have extra box sets after that pre-order is done, but we're using the numbers from your orders to order these boxes. So please, if you definitely need one, you need to go there and get one before the end of the day on Monday. Okay, bufferingthevampireslayer.com. Just click on store. It's only in the U.S. store. It will only be available in the U.S. store.
These CD box sets are so beautiful. Oh my God, they look amazing. They come with a beautiful booklet, jam-packed full of photographs and little words that we wrote.
Little words, big words, medium words.
Little words, big words. Yep. 25-cent words, nickel words, the whole thing. We also are making it available because we know some of you have been collecting the CDs as we go. So we have made the box set available in 2 ways. One, the whole shebang, all 7 seasons plus Once More with Feeling, all together in beautiful box. However, if you already have seasons 1 through 6 and you just need 7 and Once More with Feeling, we have a partial box set available for you. And if you bought one of the first 100 copies of songs from season 1, which is a little too big to fit in and it's not the same size as all the other season 1 CDs and beyond, we will hook you up as needed so that you can just have a perfect set and feel very satisfied.
Basically, anyone who buys the partial set is also just going to get another copy of season 1 just to make sure that it fits properly in its box.
We care about you, we worry about you, and we want you to have the best.
These are going to be shipping out for the holiday season this year. So also, if you're like, what should I get? The person who has everything. Well, now you know. Jenny and I are also signing every single box, so they will all be signed by us as well. Again, bufferingthevampireslayer.com. Just click on store. Monday, October 17th is when that pre-order is going to close. So get there and get yourself one if you want one. Okay. We have a Patreon. It is not going anywhere. And it is still very fun. In November and December. It's true. In November and December, we will be doing 2 different Buffy watches. So, of course, we're going to be watching a men's in December because clearly we're going to see it snow and clearly we're going to see Faith bring over some crappy gifts. And in November, Jenny, what are we watching in November? You picked a birthday episode, didn't you?
Yeah, my birthday's in November, as you may be aware from listening to the podcast. And I selected a Buffy birthday episode. We're going to be watching A New Man. We're going to get Demon Giles. We're going to get Riley. We're going to get the bitch monster of death. This episode has it all. We're going to be watching that together in November.
Yes. So patreon.com/bufferingcast or, our website. It's all on our website. Also, hey, speaking of Patreon, here's a thing. And we'll be talking about this more, of course, as time moves forward or backwards. Honestly, whichever direction time moves, we'll probably still talk about this. We are trying...
Bold of you to assume that time moves and is not just
standing
everywhere
still.
All at once doing its thing.
In 2023, we're trying something. We're taking a big jump and we're attempting to go ad-free. So we have a new tier on our Patreon. It is $15 a month and it is specifically for folks who are able to support independent media and support our endeavor to go forward with no advertisers. The podcasting space is getting kind of scary for folks like us because all of the big men with their big suits have realized that this is kind of a good deal. And so they're elbowing a lot of us a little bit out of the way. And we don't like it. And we know that we have a pretty strong community here. And a lot of you really support saying, fuck the patriarchy. So if you want to help us say fuck the patriarchy and you want to support all of the work that we will be doing in 2023 and beyond, go over to patreon.com/bufferingcast and support us at that level. Or if you're a $2 patron and you want to just add $1 or go over to the $5 level, like that all counts. That all adds up and it all helps us do what we do here.
Speaking of doing what we do here, it brings me bittersweet pleasure to deliver unto you the results of the very last Sexual Tension Awards. Oh no.
Oh no.
What do we got? Let me tell you all about it. From Chosen in 4th place, nobody, the fandom has spoken and they said, no daddies together, please. Giles and Robin, 5% of the vote.
No daddy for daddy love allowed.
Boo to this ranking, but also stiff competition in this episode.
That's true.
In 3rd place, 2 of my faves to be seen together. It's Faith and Wood. This is not the kind of surprise that I had in mind. From Wood to Faith. Surprise, we're in 3rd place, but it is what it is. In 2nd place, this does seem like the most I'm trying to think of a word other than orgasmic to say, but there is no other word. This is definitely the most orgasmic looking thing that happens in the episode. 25% of the vote in 2nd place. It's Willow and Magic.
Oh, her goddess,
Oh, her goddess indeed. And in 1st place, with a whopping 56% of the, I think that I, without fail, say with a whopping every time I say who is in 1st place, no matter what they have going on. 58% of the vote, it's a little ketchup, little mustard, little mayo, little relish. It's Buffy, Angel, Spike, and oil of some kind.
Oh my God. Check out our socials if you want to see the most epic photoshopping ever done by Emily McLongstreet, who took the heads of Buffy and Angel and Spike and put them on the bodies of Dawn Denbo and her lover, Cindy, lube wrestling on the L Word. I mean, it's truly all of our interests and some of our non-interests combined.
Yeah, I would call that the opposite of my interests, mixed with my interests. Speaking of Emily McLongstreet, old brackets McLongstreet is at it again with the season 7 Sexual Tension Award brackets. The first round is live and you can vote in that first round through October 13th if you just go to bufferingthevampireslayer.com/STA. Yeah. Emily always goes above and beyond to places you never even dreamed you might go. In terms of coming up with images to represent each of the nominees in this bracket process. It's really something to behold.
It's really something. There's an incredible Anya and Butts collage. There's right now
so casually. There's an incredible Anya and Butts collage.
There's like an incredible dead heat between, I think, Xander, Andrew, and Scott Bakula versus Andrew and the ghost of Patrick Swayze, really going toe-to-toe in there. So get over there, vote in the first round. That link, if you listen to this too late, it will take you to whatever round we're at. So we'll be figuring out who wins season 7, and you should really pay attention to what's going on, because after that, Brackets has the biggest lift of all. We're finding out who wins the whole fucking series.
The Ultimate Sexual Tension Awards. Series-wide.
Yeah, Jenny, can you add some more like guitar shredding over the Sexual Tension Awards jingle to usher us into the final? Yeah. Okay, the last thing before we get into this episode here is that clearly we are at a crossroads, not to be confused with the movie starring Britney Spears, my beloved, where we are ending buffering the Vampire Slayer, but beginning buffering a rewatch adventure. If you're on Patreon, you've seen some of the new logo designs and some of the fun things happening. And if you're not, you're going to be seeing some rebranding happening here in the space. We talk about our plans specifically inside of this episode. But the long and short of it is, stay tuned. There's a lot of shit coming your way. And if you are not somebody, clearly if you follow us on social media, you'll be seeing all of the news and all of the things as it sort of unfolds. But if you're not on social media, go to our website, sign up for the mailing list. We don't really send regular newsletters, but whenever big news happens, we put something together. So if you don't want to miss that, sign up for the mailing list. And also, hang out here in the space, because this is the feed that we will be using for most of our future plans. We'll be dropping a bonus episode here and there in the feed, and also we'll be dropping a trailer for the new rewatch adventure in the coming weeks, and we'll tell you more about all of our plans in episode.
Yes!
Cool. Well, let us go. Let's go ready thy curtains.
Kristin's favorite episode ever.
To my Kristin Russo's favorite episode of Buffering the Vampire Slayer. I can't believe we're just here talking into microphones as though we didn't end the podcast. I had a feeling.
No one can stop us, Kristin.
We thought, it would be good. We've been calling this our curtain call episode. And the reason that it exists is because, like the last episode, it was just like 400 people in a room, 1,600 people online, all howling out together. And it was beautiful and chaotic and live and loud. And that's wonderful. But, it just felt like we wanted to say a proper hello. We're still here. Are there any last things you want to talk about? We've done this journey for 6 years, and have a calm little cozy hang to be the bow on this journey of ours. So we have I don't know, Jenny. Jenny and I usually have a format because we talk about the episode. So we have a little bit of a format today. Jenny has some big questions for me and for herself about Buffy the Vampire Slayer that she's going to start us off with at the top. And then
I do?
Yeah, and then we're going to share I'm going to share some of your submissions. Mostly I just picked a few of your beautiful, beautiful emails to read here. So we'll talk about feelings. Then I thought, Jenny, you and I could talk a little bit about music because that was such a big part of the pod.
I'm always prepared to talk about music.
And then we're going to talk about some of the future plans, which you likely already know about. But now we have a little more space to talk about it in more detail and answer a couple of your questions that you submitted. And then I have some feelings that I want to share with Jenny about the journey that the two of us went on inside of the pod.
I didn't get a memo that I was supposed to prepare any feelings about Kristin, so
it's fine. That's fine. I can share my feelings with you, and then you can respond to my feelings. And
that does sound like our dynamic. Yes.
So let's kick it off, Jenny, with your superlatives is what you're calling them, yes?
Slight correction, actually. These are my supernaturalatives.
Ooh, good. Very good. Very good.
So just adjust your notes accordingly, everyone. You can play along at home if you like. I've just prepared a series of questions for Kristin, and I've got some answers on my end, and we'll just see how we do here.
Jenny prepared the questions, so she also prepared answers. I have not heard the questions, so I may say things that I regret later. I may say things that I don't expect to say. I may say things that no one agrees with, including myself. I mean, we'll just find out as we go.
I think the world knows, and we all here at the podcast agree that it's best, Kristin, when you don't know what's coming.
The entire format for our future podcast about the X-Files, where Kristin will never know what's coming.
Okay. Who was your favorite character before we started this watch? And who's your favorite character coming out of it?
God, this is like wild. And I did not think about this until you literally just asked the question. Because if you had asked me even a couple of months ago, I would have said my favorite character when I first watched the show was Spike. And my favorite character now that I've watched the show and done the pod is Anya. But in a dead heat, in the last fucking laps, I think that I landed back where I began. And I think that I still choose Spike. And I love Anya, but I don't know. There was something about the richness of like our journey with Spike, especially in the pod space, and like really unpacking some of the things that tripped me up a lot with his character and the way his character was written, that I just I really feel very attached to his arc and him as a character, and seeing him in these last few episodes and like putting that puzzle piece together with everything else that came before it just feels really moving to me. So I think that he still is my number one. But Anya is like, she's not even number two. She's like also number one, but just like one little hair behind Spike, you know? And my second favorite is, of course, Dawn, because I'm the biggest Dawn fan. So can't forget my
number
girl.
one Dawn fan.
Yeah. What about you, Jenny?
Well, when we started this watch, Anya was my fave, long-runningly so. She rocks. She's still nestled deep in my heart. But, you know, digging into stuff and seeing the episode or watching the series from various new vantage points and really digging into a lot of things, I've come to regard the Buffy bot as my favorite character. I love her so much. Protect her at all costs. A close second, Kristin Russo, Faith.
Yeah. Faith is,
I feel like I always enjoyed Faith, but prior to this watch, I was watching, you know, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, a show where Buffy is the protagonist and therefore is always like sort of understood to be like in the right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, totally. I mean, that's the thing. That's what was wild about this journey is like when you spend this much time with a television show and its characters, you are just undoubtedly going to find out that you have more feelings than you thought you did before. Do you want to say more about the Buffy bot? Like, do you want to elaborate on that answer?
I just love her. She's just trying her best. She's working with what she has. And she lives in a world where no one can truly understand her.
Yeah, it's powerful stuff.
And she's got everyone projecting their feelings about her predecessor
onto her.
It's a tough life.
Do you think that singing as the Buffy bot sort of like forged a deeper connection between you 100%. And she? Because that's I feel like that happened.
I'll never forget my time as the Buffy bot.
For those, what is the song? What is it's lesson? No,
it's bargaining part 1.
Bargaining part 1. Yeah. So for those of you who want to dip back in to hear Jenny as Buffybot, you got to go back to bargaining part 1. Maybe I'll throw a little clip in here for you and you can hear some.
All my living friends are trying to pretend I'm real. When they look at me, all that they can see is somebody who is long gone. When they look at me, all that they can see is somebody who it hurts to miss.
Okay, Kristin. What character over the course of their entire arc would you consider most improved? Whatever that means to you.
Ooh, gosh. Okay. These are like, I just, again, want to remind everyone I have not thought about these questions at all. And they are very difficult because I think that this television show, if you were to like say, what is the most incredible thing about this television show? I really think that an answer could possibly be the character growth. like across, you know what I mean? Like they all, right now in my mind, the two front runners are actually Buffy and Faith, as top 2. And like, I mean, clearly Spike and clearly Anya are like way up there. But I think that it comes down to Buffy or Faith for me as like the most improved. And I think I might honestly give it to Buffy, which is meant as a deep compliment to Faith. Because I think Faith moved past a lot of stuff, but I think Faith was closer to herself at the start of the journey than Buffy was to herself at the start of the journey. And so like Faith, clearly standing ovation for like the way that Faith has been able to learn how to communicate her feelings and like make connections with people and be vulnerable to people, because that's massive, massive work. But I think Faith just had more of a hold on like who she was when she first hit the screen. And I think that Buffy really did not. And I think Buffy lost herself many times along the way. And
I feel like you're telling me that she's cookie dough.
No, I think she's a fucking cookie, okay? Like, that's the thing.
Now she's a cookie. At the beginning of the show, she was just an egg.
She was, exactly. She didn't even have any flour or sugar or butter. She was simply an egg. And, and I think she could have fallen. I think she could have fallen completely off so many times and, like, came so close to doing that so many times. And she didn't. And I think that by the end of the series, I mean, that shot of her smiling, like just sort of like looking off, it's like that feels to me like Buffy, and maybe a Buffy that like we had not gotten ever before. And so I think she takes it for me.
Kristin, I love that your interpretation of this prompt was like, what character has like become the best possible version of themselves from the inside out? My interpretation of this prompt was, who do I hate watching less now? My answer is Dawn. I feel like when Dawn first rolls up on the scene, she is intolerable. She's the human embodiment of nails on a chalkboard. Bless her. Because she's supposed to be.
Right.
But she grows and grows and grows and learns and trains and is a real little badass by the end of the series. And I love that for her.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, I mean, I like that we came from different, maybe colorations of how we approached the question, but it feels very similar. It's like Dawn grew so much. I mean, the girl wasn't even a girl at the beginning. She was a key.
She was a key. Or whatever.
Great. And I like, these are questions I think where like, I always picture people listening to the podcast in their cars. So I feel like these questions will like elicit people like yelling at their radios in their cars, because, you know, you could take us off our answers and put us on to somebody else pretty easily with this because of all the growth that happened over the series.
Okay. Who is your series boyfriend?
Pause for thinking. Giles, final answer.
Wow. He's mature.
He is. He knows what he wants. He knows what he needs. And I like it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm going Robin Wood.
Yeah, that was
final
my
answer.
My brain went there first. I was like, Robin, and then I thought a little longer, and I wound up at Giles. Excellent answer. I think excellent answer.
He's hot. He's professional.
Mm-hmm.
He's risen through the ranks of academia and student administration. Educational administration, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's good at punching and fighting.
Mm-hmm. Wow,
and he has
what an
beautiful eyelashes.
What an epic experience for us in the final episode to get to watch our two boyfriends fight together, hand in hand, arm in arm. The stuff dreams are made of. Yeah.
Okay.
I almost said Faith. I almost just immediately was like, Faith. Faith is my boyfriend.
Well, you might not feel like that applies to the next question, but who's your series girlfriend?
I need a minute. I have to think about this. You don't want to answer first because you want me to answer first.
I'll answer first so that you'll know that my series girlfriend is off limits.
Oh, okay. No sharing. I get it. Okay, who's your series?
That's right.
Who's your series girlfriend?
My series girlfriend is Anya.
Yeah. Great. Okay,
your series girlfriend is Harmony.
Oh, a great girlfriend.
Your series girlfriend is Cordelia.
Cordelia.
Your series girlfriend.
I guess
is...
Cordelia. The thing with Cordelia is like where I would like to have Cordelia be my girlfriend is like season 2 and 3 of Angel. Like,
yeah, it's over in LA.
Over in LA. So I don't know if I get to pick her for my series girlfriend here. But I feel like the thing is, like, the reason that I'm like really chewing on this is because I feel like there's like an answer here that is not an answer that like any of us would expect, you know? Like, I feel like there's a character in this universe who I am not remembering who I would like to have as my girlfriend. I mean, I would not be mad if Riley Finn's wife, Sam, was my girlfriend. I think that out of everyone, she might have all of the makings of what I would like to see in a girlfriend. But
Yep.
Yeah, and then I no, I don't. The thing is, I don't. I was like, I think I could go with Faith, but I don't. Like, I love Faith, but I don't want Faith to be my girlfriend. That's not how I feel about Faith. I want to like hang out and have a couple beers with Faith, you know? Like, that's how I feel about Faith. And you took Anya. So yeah, I'll just go. I'm going to go with Sam because I don't know who. Do you think that I missed someone?
No, I think Sam is the right answer.
Okay, great. No one saw it coming.
Okay. Well, anybody who listened to our episode for that episode saw it coming for sure, Kristen.
Okay, fair. Also, second answer, Olivia.
Oh, yeah. Okay, great call. Jenny Calendar. All right, there's some
choices.
There's some babes. Okay, close your eyes, Kristen, and think back across 7 seasons of network television and try to recall, if you can, your favorite prop in all of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. How to do this? That's a wild question. The first prop that came to my mind was the fucking disembodied zombie hand, mummy hand.
Wow, that's interesting. I had you down for Crystal Dildo, actually.
Crystal Dildo is good. Honestly, one of my it depends on which angle you come from for favorite prop. Like, I think an epic prop is the floppy disk that falls between the desks. Like, that's a prop that does a lot of lifting. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So it's a weighty prop. But then like the mummy hand is like, wow, guys, look at you go. You're making this mummy hand do all this fun stuff. Faith's knife is really up there for me as like a favorite prop.
Sure.
And yeah, what do you got? I mean, I'm just like chewing through some props right now. What do you have?
Oh
over
yeah,
there?
I'm going Clotta ring all the way.
Oh,
That
great.
ring brought a wet, naked angel crashing down from a hell dimension into Vamp Mansion.
Oh God, yeah.
Naked as the day he was born, and also as slippery.
Yeah, the Clotta ring is pretty good. The punch fountain at the prom is very meaningful to me. I have a lot of feelings about that prop.
Yep.
the
Kristin Russo, she's got a lot of feelings about a lot of things. Even a punch fountain.
It's like, because I thought about clearly, like, I was like, oh, the class protector umbrella, but I'm like, that's played, you know? Like, we know that, clearly, but, like, I have more feelings about, like, the fountain in the background than I do. But it just, like, sets the scene. It like, sets the scene for my feelings. The sign, the, like, lesbian fucking sign that hangs at UC Sunnydale that Riley helps hang up, that's a good one.
Ooh. That's good. That's good. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely don't have a favorite, but those are some. Those are the ones that my brain popped up to the front of the line first.
Fantastic. Continuing to cast an eye, a watchful eye, backwards over all 7 seasons. What's the best outfit Buffy ever wore?
Jesus Christmas. How do you expect people to answer these things? Impossible. Okay.
You know, everybody listening in their cars is screaming their answer.
Yeah. I mean,
the speakers right now.
My favorite Buffy outfit, I think, is the Prophecy Girl outfit, is the white dress with the leather jacket over the top of it. You know, I love it. It's like iconic and classic. It like is a throwback to the movie, which, like, you know, I know that as a fandom we reject the movie, but it's nice. I think it's just nice. It's like one of the only connective tissue things between the two conversations, and it's just really beautiful.
Yeah, that is actually exactly. Well, you left out one piece of the outfit.
Your favorite
that I included.
Your favorite weapon.
Which is a crossbow, which a lot of people would not expect me to include, but it's part of the ensemble. Mm-hmm. And from a fashion standpoint, I think it looks great. It really ties the whole outfit together.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good
Just
shit.
Don't count on it in a fight, especially one at close range.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's good. It's good. Yeah. It has to be like the most iconic Buffy outfit. It has to be. Yeah. And my second favorite Buffy outfit is when she wears all of her girlfriend's clothes to fight her girlfriend. Like I always think that Faith is wearing red leather pants. Always. I'm like, and Faith is wearing red leather pants, and then I'm always surprised
Buffy borrowed
to remember
them, so Faith can't wear them.
Right. She didn't have them. She was like, God damn it. Ugh. I hate being the same size pant as my girlfriend. She's always taking my shit.
Okay. What is the location in Sunnydale you'll miss the most?
Wow. Okay. I mean, while I will miss the Bronze and I will miss 1630 Ravello, I think, honestly, the location that I miss the most, and this only occurred to me having watched a couple of older episodes recently, is Vamp Mansion. I really miss, like, the Angel Drew Spike mansion more than I think any location on set.
Yeah. It's on my short list. It's not my top,
okay,
but it's there.
All right, tell me.
It's iconic. It's got a real friggin' look.
And like such amazing shit happened in there, and that's such a particular time in the series. It's just so fun. Remember fucking Drusilla's dolls, for God's sake? It's like
I do.
We've gotten so far past that point that, like, when I think back to it existing, I'm just so excited.
I tried to narrow it all the way down, but I'm still working with a tie.
Okay.
My tie is between, at one end of the spectrum, the Summers living room. Place where it has all happened. Really. Buffy in her cozy socks with her mom after she's so sad.
The first thing I
birthday.
thought of. The first thing.
Joyce, R.I.P. Glory rolling up to be like, here's a fireplace poker, and I'm going to twirl it menacingly. Aw.
Don't
So many things.
The body swap.
Everybody kicked Buffy out of her own house.
The body swap happened in that living room.
Oh my God, so many memories.
Jenny, I don't know if you remember this, but also in that living room is where somehow the entire sweater of Riley Finn was hidden in a couch cushion.
Listen, it's a deep, deep, deep couch.
Xander repaired that window at least 12 times. You know, it's a good one.
Yep.
It's a good one.
And then at the other end of the spectrum, I have Spike's Crypt Harmony era.
Oh, yeah. When the unicorn poster is up on the wall.
Unicorns everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, that shit is good. That shit is very good. That's an excellent choice. Because Spike's Crypt has had many incarnations. Like he had the Harmony era. Before Harmony, he still had his little crypt. It was more sparse. And then there was like the Buffy fucking era where there were so many rugs and he like redid the downstairs. He had an altar for a little while, which was creepy. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that Spike's been through a lot. I think he's always had his little TV in there though.
Well, he's gotta watch Passions.
I mean, clearly.
Okay, so I have a few more questions like the ones we've already examined that are a little more like, open-ended, require a certain amount of consideration. But I also have like a little lightning round that are like very, very, very yearbook.
Okay.
So I want you to just say the first person who comes to your mind.
Okay.
Okay, for each one. Here we go. Best eyes.
Giles.
Buffy Summers.
Yeah, you're
Best hair.
correct. You are correct. Just for the record, Jenny is.
Thank you.
Jenny is correct.
Yeah. Well, I had the advantage of premeditation.
Yeah, I
okay.
know. I'm like trying to like cycle through all of their eyes and all of their hair.
Okay, best hair.
Angel. See, there's a little
Glory.
Glory. There's a little something lost in translation with the first thing that pops into my head because it doesn't necessarily mean it's the best.
Okay, nicest smile.
Willow.
Robin Wood.
Ooh, you went with sexy. I went with sweet.
Okay, best all around.
Do you want to know who literally like who actually popped into my head first?
Whomst?
Riley Finn, and I think you did it. Like, I think you programmed me because clearly no part of my brain thinks that, but that, like, without trying, it was just like, Riley Finn.
First answer, final answer, Kristin. Kristin's on record. Best all around, Riley Finn.
I think because he has, such like a Boy Scout energy, that's like why he came to mind. Anyway, go ahead, Jenny, with an actual answer.
Yeah, I had Clem for best all around.
Oh, Clem. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Well, I'm really regretting the ordering of these questions now as I turn to you and ask, most athletic.
Oh, shit. Okay, I'm going Forrest, actually.
Oh, okay. I'm going Riley. Remember when he was playing basketball? That's one of the many balls that he is really into. And he was very aggressive on the court.
He loves nothing more than balls. It's true. But I think Forrest could take him. I think Forrest might actually outsport Riley if given the chance. R.I.P.
It's possible.
Forrest.
R.I.P. Forrest. Most likely to succeed.
Faith Lehane.
I've got a tie between Cordelia and Anya.
No. Oh, remember when they were friends?
Yes, for like 1 second.
Yeah, but it was a good second. Okay, I listen, thank you for the lightning round. Don't hold me to any of my answers except for when I said Riley Finn was the best all around, which, you should get printed and framed for all of your walls.
Okay, I've just got 3 more.
Okay.
For your consideration, Kristin.
Okay, I'm ready.
First up, it's a little bit of a sad boy. The Gone Too Soon Sunnydale Character Memorial Award.
I'm going Anya.
Yeah, I mean, I think. Yeah.
I mean, like, I wish that Joyce were still here, but between Joyce and Anya, I would say Anya, because it just feels so unfair and so unresolved and so not necessary from every angle. So yeah, Anya. Is that yours too?
Yes. My 4-way tie is Anya, for some of the same reasons. It's like, oh, they might say, well, you're watching,
God, also Kendra.
Life's not fair. And it's like, I'm not watching life. I'm watching a TV show.
Right. Kendra, I'm sure, is on your fucking 4-way tie because Kendra was clearly, I mean, we barely knew her and she was gone and she was awesome.
Yeah, I've got Anya, Kendra, Tara. Remember her?
I do. Fuck.
And R.I.P. Mr. Trick.
Oh, yes. We just watched with patrons, we just watched Band Candy. And I was like, man, every time Trick is on screen, I am just so delighted. And yeah, he was definitely
so
too.
fun.
That's a great quartet, Jenny. I actually would like to get on board with that quartet myself.
Spectacular. Speaking of getting on board, who's the best bromance?
Ooh, boy. All right. So, is it Spike and Angel? Is it Spike and Xander? Is it Giles and Robin? Is it... Fuck.
Is it Ethan and Ripper? Is it Forrest and Riley?
Fuck, Ethan and Ripper. Fuck. Okay, so when you say best bromance, do you mean the one that I like, that I want to have on my bedside table? Is that how we're choosing this?
Sure. However you interpret the question.
For the listeners at home, Jenny looked so embarrassed for a second. She looked at me like,
no, I did not. No. That was my... I'm raising my hands like it's whatever you want it to be.
Ethan and Ripper really threw me because I was Angel. I think I was going to go Angel and Spike. I think I'm still going to go Angel and Spike, actually. I think Angel and Spike is my favorite bromance.
I got to go Spander. They've been through so much. Mm-hmm. They were roommates.
They were.
Spike was tied to a chair for a while. Spike wore some of Xander's clothes that one time. Yeah, there's really good stuff.
There's a lot. There's more holistically in that pairing, for sure. I think what's really amazing to me about Spike and Angel is that I think that Spike is like fully a bottom. Just like every relationship we've seen him in, he is like, please, I would like to be a bottom. To tell me what to do and how to do it. Except I feel like with Angel, he would be a top, which is why I'm into it. The only vamp that could bottom for Spike is our boy Angel.
Okay, all right.
Are we ending sexy? Is that your last Supernaturalatives?
I've got one more Supernaturalative.
Okay.
We've seen a lot of couplings over the course of this glorious show, Kristin.
Mm-hmm.
But for every coupling we have seen, there must be at least 10 couplings of which we were deprived. Which coupling were we most egregiously deprived of?
Well, does Buffy and Faith count, or are they canonically a couple?
That's for your interpretation. You tell me.
I would say that Buffy and Faith are, I think that they are at this point in our universe canonically a couple, but in the show, they did not give us that. And that was highway robbery. That was
wrong.
Fucking bullshit. So I picked them.
That is an excellent choice. In the interest of diversifying our portfolio, I will not agree. Well, I mean, I will agree with you in that you're correct, but also I would put forth for your consideration the would-be coupling of Willow and Anya.
Oh, yeah. Yes. 100,000%. Definitely.
It would be so awkward and so funny.
Oh my God, it
It's
would
so
be
great.
so fucking funny. Willow's like uncomfortable embarrassedness and Anya's absolute forwardness and matter-of-factness would be such a delightful bedroom pairing. I agree.
Yes.
Wow. Did we do it?
We did it. Thanks for participating in the Supernaturalatives, Kristin.
Thank you so much for all of the work that you put into making them. You did a fantastic job. Wonderful
I've
questions.
been studying my whole life,
Great.
and preparing my entire existence for this moment.
Okay, so now that we've all had a great time, I thought I might share some of your feelings, the listeners, if that feels like a good place to go, Jenny.
Yes, please.
Today's episode is brought to you by Care Of. Hey, it is fall, my favorite season, and also a very good time to reset, to think about the changes that you want to make in your daily routine, to better your health, to just make yourself feel good. Care Of makes it super easy. They ship high-quality, personalized vitamins, supplements, and powders conveniently to your door every month. All you do is you take a short, in-depth quiz about your lifestyle and your health goals for a personalized recommendation, and you let Care Of handle the rest. They give you the tools and the products to feel a difference in your health routine, like their free app that gives you daily reminders to take your vitamins. I need that so badly. I can't explain to you how helpful it is. And also rewards you with exclusive discounts and merch. This month, Care Of is launching their Gut Musts line with products aimed at managing bloating, gas, indigestion, and weight. Gut health is foundational to your overall health, and it influences areas like sleep, weight, immunity, and your mood. I have used Care Of for several years at this point. I love the services that they offer. I love the fact that I get my vitamins each month, and if I make changes, then I can change those things for the next month. It's also really nice to know that the vitamins that I'm taking are individually tailored to the things that I want, and the things that I need, and my environment, and all of the rest. For 50% off your first Care Of order, go to takecareof.com and enter code BUFFERING50. That's takecareof.com, code BUFFERING50 for 50% off your first Care Of order. If you listened to our finale in the intro, we gave you a little link to fill out a form if you had some questions for us or some feelings. And I went through them all today. And
as a podcast network, our focus is bringing you shows you love to listen to. But we also sell merch related to those shows. And partnering with Shopify has made that both possible and simple for us to do. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor adventures, Shopify helps you sell everywhere because they've got you covered, from their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system. What's so fantastic about Shopify is how, no matter how big you want to grow, they provide everything you need to get control of your business so you can take it to the next level. Businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm. That's all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/realm.
Support for today's episode comes from OneSkin. Did you know that your body starts accumulating senescent cells as early as your 20s? Also called zombie cells, these cells stop producing collagen and hyaluronic acid like they used to, and start secreting an inflammatory substance that makes neighboring cells dysfunctional too. There is an answer for these zombie cells though, and it comes from our friends at OneSkin. OneSkin was founded by an all-woman team of scientists, and is the first and only skin longevity company to target cellular senescence, a key hallmark of aging, with their proprietary OS1 peptide. It's scientifically proven to decrease lines and wrinkles, boost hydration, and help with the thinning skin that often comes with age. And for a limited time, you can try OneSkin and get 15% off using our code BUFFERING when you check out at oneskin.co. I've been using OneSkin's OS1 face and eye topicals for months now, and I have seen undeniable results. My skin feels healthier and brighter. I'm a big fan of their products, and I'm happy to recommend them. OneSkin is the world's first skin longevity company. By focusing on the cellular aspects of aging, OneSkin keeps your skin looking and acting younger for longer. Get started today with 15% off using code BUFFERING at oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with code BUFFERING. After you purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you.
Clearly, we don't have the space here to read and share them all, but a resounding theme was folks writing in to express the ways in which the podcast has changed their lives or helped them get to a place in their life or helped them move through a time in their life. And so I just wanted to share a couple, which will not at all be like a full exemplification of like the many ways in which this community has like changed other people's lives. But I thought it was a good little collection. Okay. So Mara from Scotland wrote in to say, hey, Kristin and Jenny, just wanted to say thank you for changing my life. Got into the podcast very early after being a longtime fan of Jenny, and it has been one of the few constants in my life. Listening to you be so unabashedly queer and open helped me to realize a lot about myself. You probably don't remember, but I emailed you once around the time I realized that I had been wrong when watching Buffy as a kid. It wasn't Xander I identified with, it was Willow. I am now, thanks in no small part to your pod and the community around it, living my life as a somewhat confident and unabashed trans lesbian. So thank you for everything. Until next time, the truth is out there.
Yes.
Yeah, and like that is one beautiful note of its theme. There was literally another person from Scotland who is 18 and at university and wrote in about how they are happy and queer, and the reason that they are able to like lean into that is because they listened to us talking about being queer, and like how cool that is to have had a place where Jenny and I can just exist and other folks in our orbit can just exist, but it's on this platform where people can listen to it, because so much of figuring out who we are and feeling like we can be who we are is seeing other people who are being who they are. And I think, you know, for both you and I, Jenny, that's been such a big part of the work that we do in all of the spaces that we do it. But certainly here it's been a big deal and really cool. Yeah. Nathan wrote in from Pennsylvania. Another sort of a similar thread, but in a different place, and said, first off, congratulations on starting, plowing through, and making it to the end of this insane venture. Secondly, as a straight, cis, white male, I would like to take a moment on behalf of all of my lecherous, misogynistic, money-grubbing, power-hungry brethren to apologize. Sincerely, for everything. I've been along on this ride since early 2017 and had no idea upon finding the pod just how deep, delightful, informative, alewives anyone, emboldening, cathartic, and life-affirming this dive down the hellmouth would be. I knew it would be fun, but I got so much more for just being here with you. So, you know, sort of like the other side of that coin, it's like there are also a lot of folks who like came along on this journey with us. And I want to say, I mean, I know that you all know listening that we both feel like this, that like we didn't do this. Like we did not change Nathan's life or Mara's life, like Jenny and Kristin. This work and this conversation just like built something that was way bigger than us and really powerful. And I think that like a lot of the straight white dudes who have been listening and who have stuck with it, because we lost a lot. Listen, we lost a lot of straight white dudes, okay? At the beginning. A lot of them jumped ship. But the folks who stayed, like, to examine stuff, like, that's really fucking cool. And you've seen Jenny and I do similar things inside the pod space of, like, this is hard and makes me feel feelings, so I could, like, walk away from it or turn my back on it, or I could, like, you know, dig in a little deeper and see what it teaches me about myself, and what have you. So I thought that was a cool thing to share.
Buffering the Vampire Slayer. It's not just for queers. As I always say.
We are definitely trying to make all of you queer, but you do not need to
We're
be
only
queer
so powerful
to attend. Exactly. And then the other, I have two more emails, but one more in this vein of like, we talk into microphones about this show that we love you listen to us do that, and you listen from all corners of the world doing all sorts of things. Like one of my favorite things is like learning that truck drivers listen to us. I guess I should have known, but for some reason that will delight me until the day I die.
Hell yeah.
But Jen wrote in from Connecticut, and she said, I once wrote in showing my love and appreciation for this space when I restarted listening to the show from episode 1 after receiving a diagnosis of an early form of breast cancer.
No.
Yes. Over this past winter, listening to this show gave me a sense of comfort and eased the tension from a very unsettled time. I write in now saying that I've had new scans done and they've come back clean and are normal.
Yes.
Which is good. So thank you for being here and in this space. Being there as support over that journey, I will be ever grateful. Words can never fully describe the emotions, the gratitude, the appreciation for everything this space has done. The next journey will be just as amazing once you awake from your naps. From the first to the final awoo, thank you. So, you know, it's just fucking rad. It's like,
wow.
Yeah, we live in a time when there are a lot of ways to connect, and that's like what being human is, right? I think anyway, like the biggest part of being a human being is like the deep need to connect with other human beings and share and dialogue and like learn from your differences and feel powerful because of your shared experiences. And this is just one mode of doing that in a time when there are many, but it's just really fucking cool.
Yeah, it really is. It's just always been so fucking cool to hear from you all.
Yeah.
Y'all make us feel extremely awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, and I'll say this here as well, like clearly we get a lot of emails and there's no way to like respond to them all, but I will say that probably the most meaningful emails we've ever gotten are the ones that are the least responded to because they are so big, and we read them and we sit with them and they become like a part of us, and it's like so hard to even form words in reply. So if you happen to be listening to this and you are, you know, someone who I've had people share about like losing siblings or parents or, you know, just like all manner of things, that Jenny and I read those words and we cry together and we take deep breaths and we don't always reply because it's so big. And so just know that like we have heard and held what you've shared with us, and it sort of is this like invisible braid that happens as the work continues, where it's like part of it, and just keeps sort of like lifting and informing what we do and how we do it.
Yeah.
All right. So 2 more things. One, I want to say that at the finale, we were gifted in this vein. Many of you wonderful folks made Jenny and I each a Sunnydale yearbook that is full of letters and photos that you all shared that were then like printed out and like laminated and put inside of this yearbook for us so that we have keepsakes of so many of your journeys with the pod and what have you. It is such a beautiful gift. And I was saying to Jenny before we started recording that I have not opened mine yet because I literally I need to take some deep breaths because it's so overwhelming to bear witness to like this community. And I can't wait to open it and to be able to open it and read it like at all different times in my life moving forward. And remember the time that like we had together in this space, in this form.
I've been training since I've been home from the finale. I will open up the book. I will read 5 words. I will start crying and I will put the book away. And then the next day, I'll go back and read 6 words before I start crying and then put the book away. So sometime, you know, in the next 2 to 3 years, I think I'll be able to get through the whole thing.
Yeah. By 2025, we'll definitely have read all of the letters.
Oh, yes.
I just want to end this little segment of this curtain call episode by reading a note from Ken that I thought was a really beautiful summation. Ken is in Portland, and they said, "Hello, Kristin and Jenny. I came up with an analogy to express my feelings about the podcast ending, and I wanted to share that analogy with you both. Something you most likely know, but that I would like to remind you of, is that when otters go to sleep, eat, and occasionally swim, they hold hands so they don't float away from one another.
Oh, yes.
This is referred to as a raft. Whilst buffering brought this community together and kept us afloat during global and individual hardships, as a raft would, in its absence, we can be like otters, holding one another's hands so that we don't drift apart while we and Team Buffering take a nap. Thank you for everything. Here's to the next chapter.
Ken!
I know. Ken notably always destroying me with their words. This is not the only time that I've been just simply destroyed by Ken's words.
My goodness.
Yeah. So that was my feelings section, Jenny. Do you have any last thoughts, any guttural sobs, anything you'd like to share out now that I've shared some of their feelings with you?
Just like, how dare you?
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
You're magnificent. All of you.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Let's take a detour. Let's go to talk about music for a minute, Jenny. I think
Sure.
I would like to say here in a calm, quiet space, you did it, Jenny. How does it feel? How are you feeling?
I suppose I did.
How are you feeling now that you have done the thing that you thought you might never be able to actually accomplish?
I feel, in a state of disbelief. I feel relieved. I feel so proud and so happy. And also I'm in a weird sort of stasis thing where I feel like I've been paused, and at any moment someone will unpause me and I'll have to write another 160 songs about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's definitely one of those things where I'm like, surely I'm not free of this.
Right. Well, it's
this thing that I have loved, of course, but also that has been, a more consistent series of deadlines than I've ever had in my life.
For so long, like 6 years. That's. I mean, how long do they say it takes to start to make a habit? Like 30 days or something. Mm-hmm. So think about how many 30 days you've had of doing this thing. Wow.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to think about it.
Yeah.
Maybe I will keep writing songs about Buffy. I won't be able to stop.
I have a question from Sierra in Seattle that sort of is a little more specific to this end, which is, Jenny, I can't believe you wrote and produced with Kristin and special guests over 150 songs about Buffy in the last 6 years. Sierra asks, how do you think that making these songs has changed you as a musician? There's 3 questions here. How do you think that making the songs has changed you as a musician? Did you learn anything new through the process? And would you recommend that any aspiring musician try to do the same?
Okay, wait, take me back through slow. What's the first one?
How do you think making these songs has changed you as a musician?
Oh, okay. I think that when we started the podcast, I had done a little bit of home recording, mostly for demoing and simpler recording projects. And I think that just jumping in the deep end and deciding that I was going to write, arrange, record, produce, and mix the vast majority of the songs that we were going to make was a real trial by fire kind of situation. So I feel like, and it also coincided with us moving to Los Angeles when I really started doing a lot more session writing. So I feel like those two things combined really did a lot in my brain with regards to songwriting. I think people talk about songwriting a lot it's like going to the gym or whatever. It's like you build the muscles you work on. So I think from a writing perspective and also arranging and producing and mixing, I was going to say I'm better at it. I definitely could say I've done a lot more of it than I had 6 years ago. But I think that it did demand, it gave me the opportunity and also demanded that I work on those skill sets. And I am stoked about it. So I think it's definitely been a really valuable experience and also been a really fun one. I mean, I think like the other thing about the buffering songs that's different from any other songs that I had made previously really is that like sometimes they're goofy. Sometimes they are, you know, they really lean into the genre show aspect of Buffy. Sometimes they're more emotional, like Jenny songs. But the vast variety, the array, the sprawling horizon of possibility of this world and writing a song, committing to writing a song about all of these episodes and finding different ways into them and different ways for the arrangements and production to support whatever angle I was writing from for a given episode. Like all of that has really fed into my general, you know, just sort of artistic base, I guess.
Yeah.
As a musician and artist. Okay, question 2.
Well, question 2, you may have also answered as a little nesting doll from question 1, because question 2 is, did you learn anything new through the process, which I feel like you were just talking about.
Yeah, I mean, trial, error, and also just like learning things in other people's studios, like while in writing sessions, like that's something that like I really took away from doing so much session writing. It's like seeing how other people work, how they produce, how they arrange, what their tools are, what their tricks are, all of that stuff. I mean, by trial and error and, you know, trying out other people's methods and things, I've like forgotten more than I knew before, you know what I mean? In preparing for the finale show, I had to go back into sessions for various songs to be like, what is that guitar part that I played? What is that? And then I'd like be going through track by track, like, what the hell is this synth? I have no recollection of coming up with this. Oh my God, what's this thing over here? It's just like, you know, because of the volume and the sort of freedom that I had to do whatever for every song, you know, I inevitably got up to all kinds of stuff that I wouldn't necessarily have found my way into if I was just working on my own personal music.
Yeah.
So I cherish and am thankful for all the things that I've worked on.
Do you think also that like, I'm just thinking about the hard deadline of it all, like that, like, you know, usually as a songwriter, you have sort of an open-ended, not totally open-ended, but like way more open-ended amount of time to come back to a song, to think about what you do like and what you don't like. And so I'm just wondering like what that, you have to turn it in by this date was like for you.
That does kind of ensure that they would get written. I do like to have a period of sort of gestation and, you know, reconsideration. But I think from around when our episode for Once More with Feeling came out, from there forward, I was probably working on a 1 to 2 day turnaround from like starting to write a song to delivering a full recording, because Once More with Feeling broke my brain, and I was never able to fully recover.
Yeah.
So
it's like it really got, the music part of things really took a similar trajectory to that film. What is it? 6 Days to Air. Is that,
yes.
Right. The if you haven't seen it, the creators of South Park is sort of a documentary on how when they started making the show, you know, they'd have like 2 weeks or more to like storyboard and blah, blah, blah. And then and it was like one less day, until it was like literally they would turn in an episode and start on the next one that had to go up live, you know, 6 days later. And that's like, I mean, you know, Jenny, you and I think went through a journey with that too, because it really took me until season 7 to just let go. Because in the beginning, you know, when it was like the podcast goes up in a week, there's no song. It was like, what's happening? And then, you know, Jenny just kept doing it. And so by the time that we got to season 7, you know, you would text me and be like, hey, I know it's Sunday, but I'm going to start the song tomorrow. And I was like, cool. Just let me know what you need. Fucking Monday. Let's hit the ground running on Monday. We're going to write the song on Monday. And then Jenny's going to record it on fucking Tuesday. And I'm going to pop it in the episode Tuesday night. And then out into the world it will go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's another way that like session writing is like really helpful, because the vast majority of writing sessions that I've been a part of, you finish the song by the end of the day. And sometimes you go back and edit or whatever. Sometimes the song's just done.
Yeah.
And knowing that a song could be done in a day, and like having so much practice at working towards that was really helpful. And then having the prompts and, knowing I'm not starting from nothing writing a buffering song. I'm like thinking about the episode, thinking about the characters, thinking about how I'm feeling after watching it, and kind of going from there, which is enormously helpful.
Yeah. Well, will you tell me, Jenny, and I will contribute to this as well, of course, but like another big thing that I would imagine goes on your board of learning is normally you are working with folks who make music when you make music. But when we started working on songs together, I had never worked on music, and still my only experience is inside of this space. But I would love to hear from you what that experience was like, from 2016 to 2022, having my face involved in the process.
Yeah. Well, I think it was very difficult at the beginning because we weren't speaking the same language. But we evolved. We developed a shared language. You became more savvy and learned how to talk about specific things and identify what it is that like maybe you didn't like about a certain instrument or effect or whatever. Whereas like when we first started out, like it would be, I would show you something and it would be like I killed your cat. Like you were like, your feelings were hurt by my choices. More often than not with reverb. But you didn't know how to even identify what was bothering you. So there was a lot of figuring that had to take place over an extensive amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, I think like shared language and lack of shared language is like the biggest piece of that, because it's like, me looking like my cat had just been killed. It definitely, like when I think back on that, it's rooted in this experience of like, there's nothing more frustrating than wanting to say something and you don't have the way to say it. So like I didn't have the way to say what I wanted to say to fix the thing that I was hearing, which was like this compounding frustration of like, and then on top of it all, then not having the language often made a really, really rough dynamic for Jenny and I, because, Jenny had just worked on this thing that was like very good, but because I couldn't communicate like the things that I was hoping to shift a bit, I think for you, it felt like I was saying this is bad, which really took a long time to unpack and figure out.
Yeah. Cut to season 7, I think episode 21. Song time. I send Kristin a song. She's like, hey, I think you need to EQ the tambourine a little bit differently. It's like a little bright. And also you could change. You need to just like smooth over the vocal comp on the word gray the second time it happens in the song at minute marker 2:12. Look how far you've come.
It's been so fun. And like, I think that the place that like we were collaborative from the jump that has been really satisfying is just like lyrically, that is a place where I think it was really easy for you and I to come together. And I think I've talked in pod before about like the fact that when Jenny and I first met, a thing that we would do all the time was crossword puzzles. And like, for those of you who do crossword puzzles, it is a puzzle. It's not, you don't need to know the answers. You just have to figure out, you have to crack the puzzle, and that's what like what have you. And we would just have so much fucking fun, like, with 2 fucking pencils on one crossword, like figuring that shit out. And that energy, like that fun that we had then with that, I think was exactly what was happening in like a lyrical space where, it's, I think my a big presence that I felt like I had often was like you would know, like, you want to say a bunch of things, and you have clearly, I think one of your biggest musical gifts is your writing. That, like, the lyrics that you write are stunning and gorgeous and have been forever, and just kill people all the time. You just murder people all the time. But you, I think, can get overwhelmed with a blank sheet of paper. And I am so, like, grid based that a lot of times the songs would start and Jenny would be like, I just don't know. And I'd be like, okay, what do we want to say? We want to talk about Giles and how he made Buffy feel in the first verse. And then the chorus is, like, going to be this kind of a deal. And then the second verse, we can talk about, like, how Buffy is feeling about this other thing and what have you. And then we would be, like, off to the races, and Jenny would write beautiful lyrics and get stuck on a word, and we would uncrack that word together. Really satisfying and, like, really cool. A really cool way to, like, sand out partnership, I think,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thanks for letting me write songs with you.
Thanks so much for writing songs with me.
A lot of people would pay really good money to write songs with Jenny Owen Youngs. And I didn't have to pay one penny.
Oh my God.
But really cool. And, like, like, I think that we've talked about some of the behind the scenes stuff with music, but it's also, like, as a person who's not a songwriter, it's I've always been really jealous of, like, the experience of like having feelings and then getting to, like, make something really beautiful out of those feelings, like a song, really specifically a song. Like, I love music, and I think the experience of getting to take some of my own feelings and via Jenny, like, hear them back in a song was one of the fucking coolest experiences of my life. Really, really very special.
That does sound cool when you put it like that.
It was really cool. 100 and, do you know the final number? What is it? 100? No, because there's more than 144 even episodically.
Yeah, it's like 160 something.
160 something.
160 something plus jingles.
Thanks for giving us a soundtrack to one of our favorite shows. It's pretty rad.
I can't stress this enough. My pleasure.
All right, let's move to the future, because I know, I'm not, all of your questions are certainly not going to be represented here, but we haven't had, like, a calm space to talk about our plans for the future. We just sort of, like, yelled at everybody in Brooklyn and threw up some logos, and everybody screamed, and,
Yeah.
So
Plans for the future.
Plans.
What's going to happen?
So the overarching thing, of course, is that we are rebranding our channel, Buffering a Rewatch Adventure. It's really nice, Jenny, that the title that you thought of for Buffering the Vampire Slayer is so versatile and can be applied outside of just slaying vampires. We, of course, want to keep doing a version of what we've been doing with you all into the future. So the idea is that this is a space where we watched Buffy together, a show that Jenny loved dearly and that I enjoyed but had only come recently to, and that we will keep rewatching shows with you. So the next big show, Jenny, is one that you love so much. You talk about it all the time, and I have never seen it.
Incredible. What are the odds? Actually, pretty good. You haven't seen most things.
It's true.
Well, we're watching The X-Files. We're going to be watching season 1 of The X-Files next. And our podcast will be called The X-Files because, actually, we are divorced from each other.
Yeah.
We are exes.
We got divorced from each other as a business plan, actually, so that we could start this podcast in 2023.
Yeah, have a zippy little name for it.
Yeah, and so Buffy I had seen, although only one time, but The X-Files I am not going to watch any of until I am podding about it, which will, I think, be fun.
So exciting.
Yeah.
I did make Kristin watch the pilot just to make sure that she was into it, even though I had very little doubt that she wouldn't love it. Had very little doubt that she... Okay. I can't even my brain, like I said, it will never recover from before. So let me just tell you, I was pretty sure Kristin would love it. There we go. But she watched one episode and then she was like, oh my God. And then she was like, I was like, don't watch anymore. And she was like, but I want to.
I know. I'm so sad. I'm just like waiting. I'm just like gazing at the faces of Scully and Mulder, waiting until it's time to journey with them.
So I'm really excited for you to watch this show for the first time and to get to ride alongside you while that's happening and to get to talk about it and stuff. It's pretty thrilling.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting. The only things I really know are clearly I understand the bisexual power of the two lead characters in the universe. And Jenny used to tell a story about an episode where there were cockroaches that crawl underneath somebody's skin.
Oh, yes.
So I remember that. And then one time for a Halloween, I called Jenny and I said, we don't have a costume. This was before buffering, clearly, because we would have had a plan. And I was like, we don't have a costume. Are the X-Files files? And she was like, what are you asking me? And I was like, are they like files? Do they go in file folders? Is that why it's called the X-Files? She was like, yes. And I was like, cool. What if we just get 2 manila folders and strap them to our faces and we can be X-Files? And Jenny was like, that is very good and we should do that. And so I bought us manila folders and then you wrote 2 of your favorite cases on them. And I don't remember what they were, but do you remember what they were?
I do, but I'm not going to talk about them yet because it might be a spoiler.
Okay. So that's like the most knowledge I have about the X-Files. And I know, of course, that Scully is very doubtful and Mulder believes. And I think there's something with Mulder and his sister and aliens. Is that okay to say? Yeah.
I can't wait to find out if you're right.
And there's a smoking man.
There is a man who smokes. This is so exciting. So we're going to be, getting into that sometime.
Right. Sometime in 2020. We had picked it. Here's the truth. We had picked a date in 2023. We were like, this is when we'll launch it. And we'll tell everybody this is when it's launching. Right. And then I was like, Jenny, I think like maybe the only way to actually feel like we're going to get a beat of rest is to not actually put a date on it and to like stop what we're doing and not know and then come to the knowing later because, it's just a different energy. It's like if we know that like this is the date that the X-Files releases, then we're going to be scheduling everything accordingly and what have you. So we have given ourselves a bit of an open landing pad. I don't know.
Which I think was the right choice, but also, very recently, for the first time in at least 10 years, I went 24 hours without receiving a text message from Kristin Russo, and it felt highly unnatural. I didn't like it.
Jenny was like, I like the eyeball emoji, and then, hello? Remember me, your business partner? And I thought, I haven't even said this to you yet, but I was just waiting for the question of like, did we do this? Or do you have this? Or did I? Or can I? Or whatever.
No, I was just like, are you alive?
And like, there was no question. And I was like, do you miss me?
No, I wouldn't say that I miss you. I just would say I'm adjusting.
Yes, you wouldn't
what
say.
has become an unnatural way of life.
You would not say that you missed me, but I know how to read Jenny speak very well.
Yeah, you'd interpret it that way. I'm sure you would.
I do. In fact, it is factual. Jenny Owen Youngs missed me, Kristin Russo, after 24 hours of my absence. So yeah, I mean,
sometime in 2023. 2023 is not that far away.
Correct.
Sometime in there, you'll see a little trailer appear, and it'll be all like bing, 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 flank, 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 flank.
Yeah, Jenny,
and you'll be like, ooh, flashlights, investigation, etc.
You have to write the theme song for the podcast.
Yeah. Leave me alone.
That's exciting.
I've been like, oh, thank God there needs to be theme music because I'm like, my idle hands are in danger of becoming the devil's playthings.
So in 2023, and I would wager to guess that it will be, in the definitely the top half of 2023 and probably even the top quarter. But we'll see, and we'll let you know more. That will happen, and that will come into all of our lives together. But Buffering, this is really the last formal episode of Buffering the Curtain Call episode, and it's airing October 12th. And so the feed, it's not good practice to have the feed just be empty. And so our plan to sort of tether us from Buffy to the X-Files in 2023 is to actually release a podcast that we've made already for our patrons, where we rewatched season 1 of Yellow Jackets. A really fun experience making that podcast with you, Jenny. It was really cool because it was so different than anything we've done. 10 episodes, massive amounts of information in each episode to unpack. And so we did not go scene by scene. We sort of took it one plot chunk or character at a time. I'm so sorry for saying plot chunk, which is
that is an unfortunate combo.
Horrible combination of words. But we will be re-releasing that, or releasing it for the first time to the public this winter. And so we're just going to hang tight and see if any news comes out about Yellow Jackets season 2 that might impact timing, so that you all could rewatch it before the premiere of season 2. It might not work out perfectly, but definitely pretty soon you'll be getting those Yellow Jackets. The podcast is called Doom Coming. Jenny says that word by saying Doom Coming. Ish.
I can't just do it on command, Kristin. It needs to be specific to an episode. I feel called to say it when I say it. So that'll be in your feeds in the interim. And we did get what should be in the feed in the interim, Kristin?
What?
A little mini series of micropods where I tell a famous or classic story. One episode could be the lady with 2 pennies. One episode could be the girl selling the flowers. One episode, for some reason, the 3 Little Pigs is coming to mind. I don't know if that, or Little Red Riding Hood.
There was a matchstick, I think. Somebody had
That's the girl selling flowers. Oh, is she selling matchsticks? It's a spin-off. Okay. She used to sell flowers, and now she sells matchsticks. She's selling flowers to buy matchsticks to sell. She's getting everything wholesale, but she's you gotta, snowball your investment.
But the girl with the matchsticks is also the girl that has a blanket over her head, right? That's the
yeah. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, great idea.
Cool.
So anyway, Doom Coming will be here in probably the next few weeks, really. We'll start releasing those episodes, and we have a new logo for that too, also done by Devin Power, who did the Buffering Rewatch Adventure logo for the feed itself, the new X-Files logo once that show starts rolling into your feeds, and a new Yellow Jackets logo or a new Doom Coming logo, I should say, for that little mini pod. So those are some main feed plans, and then we got a question from Heidi, who wrote in from Norway, which I think is a question on folks' mind as well. Heidi said, will you keep a small strand of Buffy the Vampire Slayer alive in your future work? Occasional Buffywatches, buffering song streams, proms, etc.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes and yes.
Yes and yes.
There will be proms. There will be song streams. We'll be doing group watches with Patreon. We'll even, are you ready for this? Be doing a little bit of coverage of season 8, the comic books. I don't know. I know that I make a lot of weird pauses. I know that I sometimes have a funny sort of rhythm to my speech, but that was beyond. We'll be making podcast episodes as we explore and experience season 8 to begin with in the comic books. It's a little sticky because these comics are now out of print because Dark Horse had the license for 15 15 years or something, 20 years. But no longer. Boom's got the license, and they're kind of like recreating the stories and
Right.
just like doing some really cool reimagining stuff. But what we're going to be looking at are the canonical comics, which came out on Dark Horse, starting with season 8, which we'll be making those podcast episodes specifically for our patrons.
Yeah. And in case you're listening to this and you're like, well, where do I find that? Our Patreon is just patreon.com/bufferingcast, and all of this is Buffering the Vampire Slayer. .com, and actually bufferingcast.com goes there too. And Kristin Russo, I don't know if you've heard of her, but she has a lot of work to do on restructuring the website and rebranding the socials and doing all that kind of fun stuff. So
good thing I came up with all the supernaturalatives for this episode
to balance the scales.
Exactly.
So Buffy, like, that's the thing. And also, I think if you're listening, you probably know this, but Jenny and I are also writing a book. And books take a minute to write and then several minutes to actually come out after they've been written. So that book won't be in your hands until probably late 2024. But we are working on a book, and that book is really telling the story of our journey through the series as two people who started talking about the series married before the 2016 presidential election and sort of like navigated politics and divorce and miscarriage and all other manner of life things, reconciliation and new family structures while journeying alongside Buffy and her community and like sort of like inside of our own community. Very Sebastian reading about Atreyu vibes in our experience. Like very, very much like we're eating the peanut butter and jelly sandwich in our house, but like then we're reading about Buffy and like we're like, well, how is it possible that Angel has broken up with Buffy and our marriage is ending? That seems weird. So we'll be working on that book. And, certainly even if the only big things happening Buffy-wise right now are like the watches that we do with Patreon and the comics and things like that, once we are getting closer to the book coming out, there's going to be sort of like a bigger heartbeat of Buffy again because we'll be about to release a book about it all. So Buffy's not going anywhere. She never does.
That's right.
Come on.
That's right.
All right, Jenny. Well, we talked about the future. We talked about our future plans. Some of you have questions about like the store. Is it going to go anywhere? No, it's everything. The stuff is going to stay where it is. I mean, products will change and things will happen, but like we're here. We're here for the long haul. And we'll be talking to you more about all these things as they happen.
Yes.
All right. Do you want to hear my feelings about you?
I do.
Okay.
I think I do.
She wasn't sure.
Do I?
But I think so. So I've been thinking about this over the course of the last couple of months. One of my favorite quotes from a movie is from the very well-respected film Shall We Dance, starring Richard Gere and J-Lo and Susan Sarandon.
God. Okay.
And I've been thinking about it a lot because, like, as we previously mentioned, Jenny and I we began this journey in this podcast married, and so I used to talk to Jenny about this quote all the time inside of a marriage, the way that you like understand a marriage, right? But I'm gonna read the quote and then I want to talk about it for a second, okay? So this scene is Susan Sarandon thinks that Richard Gere is cheating on her with J-Lo, but actually Richard Gere is getting dance lessons to surprise his wife, Susan Sarandon, with the ability to dance. I've spoiled the movie for you now, but, So Susan Sarandon's character is like sitting in a bar with this private investigator that she's hired, and he asks her, why is it, do you think, that people get married? And she says, because we need a witness to our lives. There's a billion people on the planet. I mean, what does any one life really mean? But in a marriage, you're promising to care about everything, the good things, the bad things, the terrible things, the mundane things, all of it, all the time, every day. You're saying your life will not go unnoticed because I will notice it. Your life will not go unwitnessed because I will be your witness. And I love it. I think it's really beautiful. And when I heard that, it was beautiful to me inside of a marriage. But as I've journeyed with you, Jenny, I have continued to think about this quote and like the nature of relationships and the nature of like our relationship. And in this space specifically, I feel like we are not married anymore, but in this space, in the buffering space, we have been witness to something that only you and I know what it can feel like to experience. And it's just, it's been really moving to have that experience with you outside of the context of our marriage and like after a divorce, because I think as a queer person, I'm always trying to like undo the structures that like, you know, we were taught to understand. Like, this is how you have a relationship this way, and this is how you have a relationship the other way. And so I just thought it was really cool as I was thinking about this quote, like, you know, Jenny and I are still witnesses to each other's lives in a different way, of course, a very different way than we were when we were like in a marriage. But like, we see each other and we are the only two people that are inside this podcast looking out in the way that we do. And so I just wanted to say that I love you and I care about you. And I'm really, really thankful that because of whatever you want to say, everything that we've been through, that we've managed to still remain like witnesses to each other's lives in a lot of ways.
And best friends.
Yes, Jenny likes to say that she's my best friend. But I am just...
No, I just upped the ante, Kristin. I just evened the playing field. Best friends.
Got promoted. Wow. The fucking feud between the Angel on Top girls and us is over. Jenny has accepted me into her life as her best friend. This is going great.
What's next?
Who knows? Who knows? Some kind of commune for sure.
I just want to say that I think you're okay.
Cool. Great. Thank you.
And then I think it's like pretty cool that we get to do this, that we've gotten to do this, that we're going to do more stuff, that nothing can actually defeat us podcasting. It's very cool. And I'm so happy that we get to do this together and that we are best friends. And that we, you know, and that making this also has brought all of these incredible people into our lives and our spheres. It's just such a blessing. I've really just had so much opportunity to really zoom out lately, with all these acres of free time on my hands since I'm not making a song constantly, and it's just really, really overwhelming. Can't think about it for too long because then I start to get upset. But it's really just been such a gift and a privilege and an honor and a blast.
Yeah, all those things. We are thankful for all that you all have given us along the way, including the relationship that we have now, which came because you were here listening to us. And
correct.
It was really, really hard. But sometimes when something is more beautiful than the hard thing, you hang on. And that's what we did.
Indeed.
So thanks. Thanks for the best friendship that we now have, according to Jenny Owen Youngs, on October 4th, 2022.
Mark your calendar.
All right. Well, I don't know if we should howl out, Jenny. I feel like we did our final howl.
I already said for the last time.
Yeah. So we can just say, I think that we love you and please, if you don't already, and you use social media, follow us on social media. If you don't like social media, you can sign up for on our email list on the website. It's right there for you. And we don't send out like regular newsletters or anything, but definitely when we have big news, we will be sending things out. So if you want to follow us that way, you can. Or you can just be like really, really quiet and listen, and you might hear what comes next.
Crushing just how heavy things can get. 1,000 albatrosses around my neck. Feeling like I'm the only one who's down on the floor. But I don't have to be lonely, need the weight of the world. 'Cause I see you. You see me too. It pulls me through to watch you do what you do. 'Cause you've got demons to fight, wrong against right for the rest of your life. And I'll have battles to win without and within for as long I'm in this skin. I hear a lot about what I should be. It's weird that no one thought of asking me. Got me feeling like I'm the only one who's different inside. It's like, but I see you. You shine right through in all you do. You show me how. Now I've got demons to fight, wrong against right for the rest of my life. You have battles to win without and within for as long as you live. La da da da, la da, la da, la da da da, la da da, la da da da, la da, la da, la da da da, la da da. We've got demons to fight, wrong against right for the rest of our lives. We'll have battles to win without and within for as long as we live.
Welcome to the small town of Chinook, where faith runs deep and secrets run deeper. In this new thriller, religion and crime collide when a gruesome murder rocks the isolated Montana community. Everyone is quick to point their fingers at a drug-addicted teenager, but local deputy Ruth Vogel isn't convinced. She suspects connections to a powerful religious group. Enter federal agent V.B. Lauro, who has been investigating a local church for possible criminal activity. The pair form an unlikely partnership to catch the killer, unearthing secrets that leave Ruth torn between her duty to the law, her religious convictions, and her very own family. But something more sinister than murder is afoot, and someone is watching Ruth. Chinook, starring Kelly Marie Tran and Sanaa Lathan. Listen to Chinook wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a co-founder of the Go Kid Go network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. During her journey, Isla meets new friends, including King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table, and learns valuable life lessons with every quest, sword fight, and dragon ride. Positive and uplifting stories remind us all about the importance of kindness, friendship, honesty, and positivity. Join me and an all-star cast of actors including Liam Neeson, Emily Blunt, Kristen Bell, Chris Hemsworth, among many others, in welcoming the Search for the Silver Lining podcast to the Go Kid Go network by listening today. Look for the Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.